When French oceanographer Jacques Cousteau made a documentary about Earth's oceans in 1956, he called it The Silent World. But contrary to this title and the pristine underwater world you might imagine, our oceans are far from silent. In reality, the ocean is a noisy place, and sea creatures have relied on sound to survive for millions of years. But today's oceans are louder than ever. In the last 100 years, human activity in the oceans has increased dramatically, and because sound travels farther underwater than it does above the surface, noise from this activity can travel for thousands of miles, massively disrupting the marine soundscape. Underwater noise is a topic often overlooked in conversations about pollution. Still, noise pollution poses a serious threat to marine ecosystems, and noise from commercial ships is one of the key contributors. Globalization and consumerism have contributed to the rapid growth of the global shipping industry, as goods are transported from cheap production sites to consumer hotspots halfway across the world. This demand has driven an economic boom in the commercial shipping industry, with the total cargo transported globally valued at over $4 trillion per year. Researchers estimate that rapid growth in ship traffic in the past half-century has led the intensity of underwater noise caused by ships to double every 10 years. In addition to commercial shipping, the oil and gas industry has contributed greatly to oceanic noise pollution. Oil and gas companies use seismic surveys of the ocean floor to find locations for drilling. They sound something like this. Like the din of commercial ships, noise from seismic airgun surveys in the Atlantic is likely to increase in the near future. Sounds from ships and seismic surveys cause physical damage and even death of sea creatures up and down the food chain, from whales and dolphins to fish and zooplankton. They also drown out communication sounds important for survival. One species particularly at risk is the North Atlantic right whale. The right whale is one of the world's most endangered whale species, with only about 400 remaining individuals. Due to the Trump administration's deregulation of offshore drilling, 5 companies are planning on carrying out seismic mapping along the entire eastern seaboard of the United States. As this figure shows, the area these companies hope to survey overlaps with the right whale critical habitat. This area, off the coast of South Carolina, Georgia, and northern Florida, is the only known calving grounds for right whales. Right whales use sound to coordinate many behaviors critical to their survival and reproduction. Vocalization allows them to form groups and find mating partners. However, according to a study conducted in Massachusetts Bay, right whales have lost up to 63 to 67% of their communication space in the area, hindering their ability to hear and communicate with each other. Researchers have also studied the effects of noise pollution on whales' health and hormone levels. In a landmark study conducted after the events of 9/11, researchers found that stress hormones in the feces of right whales in Canada's Bay of Fundy dropped significantly due to shipping restrictions and the temporary reduction of noise pollution that followed. This evidence suggests that noise pollution from commercial shipping poses a real threat to the right whale's well-being and consequently their survival as a species. Listen to what happens when a passing ship enters the sound sphere of right whales. The research on noise pollution is conclusive. We must take urgent action on the issue if we hope to maintain ecosystem integrity and save at-risk species such as right whales. One solution to the noise pollution crisis is government policy and regulation. Because high noise levels from commercial ships have been proven to increase hormonal stress in whales, regulating shipping speeds and volumes could be effective if enforced well. One way to promote action is to create financial incentives for companies to use quieter ships. For example, governments could institute a sound tax system on ships, a cap-and-trade system in the shipping industry, or impose fines on companies whose commercial ships exceed a certain volume. Similar policies have been adopted in the Boston area. In an effort to conserve the right whale population, NOAA has helped to implement regulations that alter shipping routes in order to prevent interference with right whales near Boston Harbor. This policy is a great example of a way that simple policy can benefit marine life while not sacrificing much for humans. If we wish to save species such as the right whale, it will require urgent and collaborative international and domestic policy.